Hey, LinkedIn. Nina Church Adams here from Ask Nicely, joined by our CEO and co-founder, Aaron Ward. Hey, Aaron, thanks for joining me.
Hey, Nina. Nina.
Where
Good
are
to be
you?
here.
Where are you calling from?
Well, yeah, funny you should ask that. Well, I haven't been in the same place as you, even though it doesn't look like that. I think we're both in Oregon.
We are.
Um, but in my background here, this is Long Bay Beach, which is in Auckland in New Zealand, where I'm from. And it
Beautiful.
doesn't look very Oregon-y behind you either.
No, well, so I'm also in Oregon, but yes, coming to you today virtually from my hometown, New York City, from Central Park. So we're together, social distancing in Oregon, but also with our hometowns in spirit, and
Is this
certainly with
because
New
we're
York.
both too shy to expose the state of the room that we're actually calling from?
No comment. Let's move on. So, I wanted to invite you here today to talk about a couple of things, but I think for folks out there who don't know about what we do at Ask Nicely, could you share just a couple of thoughts on kind of who we are at Ask Nicely, what we believe in and who we serve?
Yeah, well, Ask Nicely is a customer experience platform we've built for service businesses, particularly those with hundreds or thousands of frontline employees that we rely upon to do awesome for every customer every day.
Yeah, and seeing that we're in the business of supporting customers who are delivering awesome experiences every time, right now is a pretty unique time to be in the experience business, wouldn't you say?
It's a tough time. I mean, the brutal reality is for many of our customers is that they're shut for business.
Yeah.
This is not the time to be getting out there, getting or delivering service in person. So it's a brutal time.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we're really privileged to be in the position of right now in supporting those businesses is to hear the stories of people-powered businesses and what they're doing right now to engage their frontline employees and their customers during this time. And so I would just love to hear one or two reflections from experienced brands out there that have really inspired you during this time about how they're either innovating their service or their product, or how they're motivating their frontline teams, or how they're keeping connected to their customers. What have you seen that's inspired you out there?
Yeah, well, times like this, we all need a bit of inspiration, and there's a truckload of innovation and creativity going on out there, which I get really excited by. But the first thing I want to show you is not from the service sector. It's much more closer to home. Actually, let me see if I can turn this background off. You're gonna love this, Nina. So we go out. My wife and I go out for walks most nights, and oh, by the way, here I am sitting out in the back deck of my house.
We're gonna do the big reveal. We'll just go to our normal habitats.
Well, here's the thing though. Like if you're walking out and we're seeing neighbours from time to time, but of course we're doing the right thing, from a social distancing perspective, and we're keeping our distance and perhaps even crossing the road. So it's tough in a time like this to maintain community and connection with people. But so a couple of weeks ago in our letterbox, this is what we had arrive. This is a handmade card from one of our neighbours that we had not met, reaching out to us, and you can see on the back of this it says, handmade by We Are Stronger Together Homeschool Press.
Love that.
I was just staggered by this. And you'll need to see, look at the quality of the handwriting here.
So
it's a
beautiful
little note. It says, we are your neighbours, the Hansons. We wanted to let you know that we're here for you in these uncertain times. Please reach out to us at this phone number if you need anything. You'll find us at this address in kindness. And then it's listed all the names of the people in the house directly across the road from us. I was just staggered. And
well,
to
how
me,
amazing. Yeah, go ahead.
I just think in a time like this where we're doing all we can to maintain distance from people, here we are, coming closer to our neighbours. I thought that was just so touching.
Well, and I imagine, maybe people you haven't met before, and amazing that during this time that we're staying apart, that we're actually making connections with people who are just a couple steps away or have been a couple steps away all this time. So that's
Totally.
pretty remarkable.
Are you seeing that stuff? Are you seeing examples of that too?
But yeah, I mean, I've loved seeing, I think certainly in our community, I have young kids. So in school, our school today had a parade where the teachers drove their cars by our neighborhood to stay connected, things like that. I think in terms of companies, I think companies are being so innovative in how they are thinking outside the box and how they're delivering their products and services, or how they're supporting their community, but really the broader community. Obviously, customer experience brand that we love, Zappos, and I have to give a shout out to Julie Hogan from Drift for sharing this, which is where I saw it. But Zappos has always been in the customer experience business in terms of delivering happiness, but they've extended that even further at this time. And their support lines are open for all the customers of the world. And what they mean by that basically is that anyone can call, even if you're not a Zappos customer, for an order. So if you need help finding out which grocery stores are open, or where you can get food, takeout food, or what restaurants or services are available, or even if you just feel like you need to talk to someone, you can call Zappos customer support. And so that really just blew me away as what an exemplary example of both thinking outside the box of what you can do with your resources as a company to not only support your customers, but just the broader community right now.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's just so awesome. I think the whole kindness dial has just been turned up across the board as people looking to just to generally be nicer to each other. I think it's just wonderful.
Well, I know that
I'll pop back to New Zealand for a second.
I know that we're in the business of I'm going to do the same thing. I wonder if every time I do that, it goes into my settings when I record. This is, new territories. But I know that one of the things we're in the business in at Ask Nicely is appreciation. And so we've been thinking about different ways that we can help support our communities, their frontline teams, and their customers. And so really part of this video is to share something that we're thinking of, we're going to be doing and wanting to tell people about, which is we're being inspired every day by these stories and from our customers and partners in our community. And we don't want to hog those stories or those inspirations. And so we want to be capturing and telling those stories so that businesses with frontline teams and businesses out there and trying to deliver awesome experiences can learn from each other, be inspired by one another, and support one another. And so I think this is also kind of a call to action for folks out there. If you have experiences that have inspired you, or if you're doing something different in your business that you think others can benefit and learn from, if you've been on the receiving end of different services, changes, kindness, innovation, I think, how are we keeping our employees engaged? How are we staying connected to our customers and our communities? We want to hear it. And Erin, any final thoughts or parting words before we wrap up?
Well, I think there are a number of little practical things that you can do. I mean, thinking about the hairdressers, the massage therapists, the people out there that that rely upon us, for their continued well-being. That at the moment we cannot provide their services. So I'm looking at this picture of myself at the moment. I'm thinking, well, how long can I go without getting a haircut? Now, there's part of me that's quite keen on bringing back the '80s heavy metal mullet. But I shared this with my wife last night, and she was disgusted at the idea, totally horrified, and immediately started texting my hairdresser saying, "Can I please prepay for Aaron's next haircut so that he doesn't
can be the first in line."
The mullet?" And I think there's a really simple, practical example that we can all do to help the service providers that that we can't see at the moment. Is get in touch, see what we can do to help prepay or support these people, in these times.
Absolutely.
The other thing that I've just seen, which totally inspired me, is a day ago Amazon launched a new service called Airbnb launched a new service called Airbnb Online Experiences. Let me see if I can share the screen. This to me is very impressive. So obviously we know Airbnb is a travel brand, and since 2016 they've also been offering a service called Airbnb Experiences, where in different countries around the world you can have in-person experiences with people to do all sorts of different exotic things. And of course, both those parts of Airbnb's traditional business are totally suffering at the moment, which is tough for Airbnb, but it's much tougher for the hosts, the people that can no longer let out their properties or their rooms or share experiences with people. So the idea of Airbnb Online Experiences is now you can sign up and go through an experience online, digitally, using the Zoom platform, and do a whole bunch of different things, which I just think is just spectacularly good.
This is awesome.
there are a few things I really love about this. So, firstly, it helps people that that typically have only engaged in person, face to face with their customers, an entirely new channel to serve them. Obviously, appropriate in these times, but it exposes a much broader market. Like I go to a local boxing gym, and at the moment, trainers from that gym are trying to do predominantly free classes through Zoom or through Facebook, just to try and keep their current customer base engaged. And now they can jump onto Airbnb Online Experiences, and not only monetize that time, that effort, keep their customer base engaged, but expose themselves to a much broader customer base, which I think is just stunning.
What I love about that also is that people at home right now want to find ways to give back to these businesses. So platforms like this give people a way to do that. I think, I've seen, classes or experiences like this where it's, $10 for a class or $15 for a class. It's really reasonable kind of costs and prices where someone sitting at home can both have something to break up the day of quarantine and of kind of home time and stir crazy time, but also then be contributing, giving back. And I've certainly listened to, artists that I love, on the different social channels, doing at-home concerts and then accepting tips that they're sharing with their bands. One of my favorite bands, Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors, did that recently, and on all their social channels. And the kids and I and my husband listen to it. We see them every year play at Portland at the Aladdin Theater, and here we are at our home theater listening. But then it's a way for us to find joy, share, give back, be connected, and think about, that's a connection with that band I never had until this time, right? So there's so many different unexpected delights from these kind of innovations as well.
Totally. The other thing that I love about it as well is that through a platform like this, you're able to do a whole bunch of experiences that you would not, you'd not normally do or be able to do, given that they're being hosted by people in all sorts of different countries and cities around the world. So you can do an astrology workshop in Portugal. You can do a live workout with an Olympian in Belgium, or make Swedish pastries in Sweden. Just totally cool. I think one of the things that I really love about the way that Airbnb is doing this is they've set a certain criteria for what they're looking for in an experience, and I just love that it's really, really simple. So this idea that it's led by a knowledgeable and passionate host, that guests are able to participate in some sort of immersive or hands-on way, and then gives people access to a place or a community that's special. I think these are really awesome guides for how to design great experiences. And whether you're looking to design an experience for Airbnb or even in your own business, these are wonderful guides. Particularly like the last one around the emphasis of storytelling. I think in the world that we're in, think about the thirst that we have for genuine, authentic experiences, person to person. I think this is a wonderful thing that Airbnb is doing.
But I love that direction there also, though, Aaron, of still being thoughtful about the experiences and setting the standard for what an awesome online experience looks like, and not just kind of throwing things together. I think that's, I think everyone's trying to do everything right now, but being able to still strive for greatness in our online experience as well. So those are just a couple, I think, of things that have been inspiring us. We'd love to hear what's inspiring you. Please reach out to Aaron or myself, or ask nicely, and we'd love to share your stories, talk to you, or promote the things that you're seeing out there that are the experiences out there that you're seeing that are awesome. So thanks, Aaron.
Awesome. Stay safe,
Talk
everyone.
soon. Bye.